So this happens every once in a while where you're editing a video and you find some footage in the middle that you just completely forget recording at all. And this is for a video that's coming up on the channel in the next week or so. But there's a conversation that I'm having with my buddy Brian, and I thought, well, you guys would probably want to see this. It was kind of impromptu, not related to what was happening in the video. So without further ado, here we go. So that was that. That was doing a dump run. It's been so long since I've done a dump run.
It's been a while for me. I had the Christmas tree in the back since Christmas April.
So had no idea that you know, what they charge people has changed so drastically.
Yeah.
So yeah, a refrigerator flat rate is 25 Canadian pesos to get rid of.
It's pretty steep.
Even though we pay an environmental tax when you purchase it, I don't get that part. I always thought that handled the disposal.
You would think. What is the environmental, like Freon? Like they're worried about, like, you gotta pay for the Freon or something?
Well, there is that when they break down a refrigerator, they have to try to evac it,
right,
and collect that. It's not Freon. No, they haven't used Freon since, I think the last time it was used was in the mid-80s.
See, I'm aging myself. I'm an old man.
Well, and Freon is actually referring to R12 as a refrigerant gas.
Okay.
Freon being like the company.
Oh, that's the brand name.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, R12.
That's the chemical?
That's the gas,
okay,
that they use as a refrigerant. And well, that was banned, so they stopped using it. Whoa!
Yeah, well,
jumped out of a gear there.
Ride until you find it.
Yeah. But then, yeah, they switched to what is it? R134A.
Okay.
And that was the gas for the longest time. And now recently in Europe, they're trying to phase that one out, and they have two different refrigerants currently being used. A few manufacturers are actually, like for automobiles, are using CO2 as a refrigerant, which
like for air conditioning?
In cars, yeah.
Oh, really?
And the other one would be R1134YF, I believe it's called. And that's another refrigerant. And so, yeah, the automotive boys are all having to get used to using these different gases.
Is that hard? Like, so there's a lot of regulations that get changed, and you work in the automotive industry. Like, is it hard to, you know, you invest tools, you invest knowledge and time and learning, and then all of a sudden it changes?
Yep.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. And it doesn't have to just do with our regulations here in Canada. It has to do with regulations in the United States, or even the regulations in California, which are different from a lot of the regulations throughout the rest of the states.
Right, like emissions are crazy there, because I know dirt bikes are highly regulated there compared to here.
Oh yeah, but then there's also the regulations in Europe, right? So you have European vehicles that are manufactured in Europe, and they'll go by their own standards.
Oh, so you have to adapt to wherever it was made.
Yeah, but then to sell it over here, it has to comply with our standards.
Right.
So a lot of the European ones, they'll have their own standards that don't really apply here, but it just comes in with the vehicle.
Right.
So, for example, back to the refrigerant thing, refrigerant gases, it had to do with environmental impact of the gases.
Okay.
So it had to have I can't remember the term that they use, but it's an overall environmental impact ability if the gas was to be released from an HVAC system.
Okay.
And so that's what put our 134A off the table, basically, for being used.
Interesting.
And so, yeah, there was a fight between some manufacturers on what the new industry standard in Europe was going to be.
Wow.
So I think our 1134YF won the battle. But so that means that cars from North America that are sold in Europe have to have that refrigerant.
Right.
So by default, we end up having that refrigerant even though we don't have the regulation to enforce it, right?
Do a lot of cars from North America actually end up over there?
Well, yeah, the Ford Focus is a huge seller. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Huge seller, popular car. And vice versa, you know, there's a lot of cars from Europe that are popular here.
Sure.
You know, we see a lot of Volkswagen, Audi,
Yeah.
BMW, Mercedes. The Sprinter vans are huge for contractors.
Huge. Actually, a buddy of mine just came by my house the other night, and his Sprinter is massive.
Yeah, they're
It's
big.
a bus, dude.
Yep.
It's not like your yuppie Sprinter. He was like, no, I bought the actual like shuttle van, and it's massive. You could stand up in it. It's awesome, but it's excessive. I was like, wow.
And guess what? They're not fun to work on.
Oh, really?
No, man. Yeah, their computer systems do not like to communicate with aftermarket scan tools.
Oh. So it's like a factory, take it to the dealer kind of thing?
Essentially, like if you don't have the OE scan tool for the Sprinters,
Really?
you cannot communicate with them for most stuff.
That's interesting.
And even just basic functions, like they just do not.
This guy's gonna get hit by a car.
Yeah, this guy,
He just thought he'd go for it.
he's
He's not this. That guy
Yeah.
doesn't look very smart.
well, one day he's gonna get it, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
well, he'll do it.
And he'd be like, why me? But yeah, no. So if you don't have a factory scan tool, which costs, I think it's between, I think it's like 20 grand for
What?
the. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, that's why shops don't have them. And shops that do have them focus on the Sprinters. And
Well, I
they
would
do.
hope so.
Yeah. Well, they do well.
Right.
They do well because it's.
cornering that market.
Well, and the Sprinters are becoming more and more popular for contractors and whatnot because they're
sure.
pretty useful vehicles.
Oh yeah, no, they're sick.
So yeah, if a shop has that factory scan tool, they'll probably book in all Sprinters and
That's it.
turn anything else away as long as they have a full booking of Sprinters because no one else can do it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah. The automotive industry is changing.
What's interesting, but I mean, you seem to be open-minded to it, like adapting to. I mean, you bought a whole bunch of new tools, like.
Well, I mean,
You're not like a curmudgeon that's like, it's not how it used to be, and.
well, no, and if that's the way you look at it, then you're more of a hobbyist, really.
Right.
I mean, if you want to maintain a spot in this market, you need to adapt. I mean, it's like any other market. If you're gonna be a member of the people involved in it.
Where are we going right now?
I'm going to the beer store.
Okay. It's like, what is happening?
But yeah, if you want to be a member, like an active player in the market, you need to keep up with the times.
I guess
and if,
it's like any industry, right?
yeah, and if you want to be like a curmudgeon, like you said, it'd be like writers saying, "I'm not touching a computer. Typewriters all the way." You know?
Right.
No emails.
Right.
Only Canada Post. You know?
Screw the internet. It ruined us. So I'm gonna just like.
Yeah,
Wait.
it doesn't make sense, and
You have to adapt or die.
yeah, and well, some people are used to be of the mindset that these computers are ruining cars, but they're actually making them much more efficient.
Efficient, right?
Yeah, and I mean, better gas mileage, better
It's like
better power for
same as
such
EFI, right?
small
like
engines.
You go that way or you don't, but EFI is a good thing.
Yeah, like we were talking about, if you did a crossover for your car,
Yeah,
the Datsun 240Z.
they're amazing.
Yeah, if you went
With EFI.
Yeah, if you went EFI and with like modern technology on it, yeah, it'd be way better performing.
It's just not as cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to have the nostalgia, that's fine too, right?
Yeah.
But as an automotive repair technician,
Look at this guy.
There's no room for that mindset. Hey, hey, and he's like, oh, you might be able to sneak by. I should just definitely get in.
Yeah, well, I'm
fully in the way.
Halfway in the lane. I might as well just go for it.
I'm gonna fully get in your way.
What a guy.
And then he's just like, I'm gonna go around that guy too.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna look at anybody that's staring at me, giving me the stink eye. Just pretend nothing's happening. What's up, bud?
Tinkerbell. Woo!
Wow. Whoa.
So yeah, that was just an interesting conversation that we had at the time. I thought I'd like to share this with you guys. If you like this kind of thing, let me know in the comments down below. So if you guys like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. If you're feeling generous, hit that like button. And if you want to be part of the conversation, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.